Today I had my weigh-in at Dr. Now, but I gained weight.
Michelle, you gain weight. This is not good. You need to find motivation.
I keep telling Dr. Now about this new group I found on TikTok.
But Dr. Now, my TikTok queen said, no health ailment is specific to fat people.
You are going to die.
Welcome to my life. Food is all I look forward to. My 600-pound life. Food never leaves me. Welcome to my life. My 600-pound life. My 600-pound life.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. A very morbid intro to a very morbid story, Michelle. And so you might be writing me a paragraph and being very angry at me, but you know who people should be mad at? The people who are telling others to stay fat because it's some type of political statement that makes you strong.
People would rather potentially die from getting weight loss surgery than remain fat.
It is borderline radical and at the very least an embodied political statement to be fat.
You know, the people who have a food addiction.
I eat enough food for 3 people, plus bread.
You know, the addiction that no one takes seriously, the addiction that keeps rising, but for some reason, me saying count calories is just, what's the famous word they use on TikTok? Let me look it up. Oh yeah, toxic.
Stop counting calories to lose weight. It doesn't work.
Here are 3 reasons why you should stop counting calories.
I think it is so dumb. I think you look stupid.
My 600-Pound Life is a show that many people watch to motivate them to not overeat on cheesecake.
I'm always ready to eat. I just feel like the food has to be eaten.
And it shows the realities of obesity. If you don't want to know the realities, you can just head over to TikTok and people will tell you, you look great the way you are. You should stay that way.
No health ailment.
But if you want to know the realities, stay tuned. Also, if you want more of an extremely serious and very, 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 very sad toned video, my videos are a little bit more laid back. I do try to find dark humor in a very sad, dark world because the only thing that gets me through life is a little bit of laughter. I've seen a lot of death recently, especially in my family because my family struggles with obesity and food addiction. Like the people you see on my 600-Pound Life. Usually the end, once again, it's death. So let's take a look at LaTanya's episode of My 600-Pound Life, where she thinks food means love. So LaTanya Putains is someone that got up to around 531 pounds, and she has to really think about when she's standing up. She has to give it a little 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And then another 5 and 6 just to get over to the bed.
5, 6.
And if you're looking at that and thinking, well, that's not too bad, well, don't worry. Everything else in life is very hard.
I barely can even, take care of my fiance as a woman.
That's right. She can barely move as much to have sex. But that's okay. Her boyfriend, who she met while he was in prison, is completely devoted to her and will do anything she says.
Anything she asks me to do, I help her with.
Like get her food, unfortunately. Except for one thing.
But she not a burden, you know what I'm saying? She ain't gonna let me help her cook. Because she know I can't cook.
That's right, LaTanya, even though she can't really get busy in the bedroom and do other things, she can get busy in the kitchen. So just keep that in mind. This woman is in control of all of her food, but we know with these people, there's always some kind of backstory.
Food is like my best friend. Can I have some juice, Miss V?
When you're this attached to food, there's gotta be something that happened back in the day that made food to be her best friend.
When I eat, it takes the stress away. That's what I do to help me cope with things.
So growing up, she actually had an extremely positive childhood. She was very involved with the church. The whole family was involved with the church. Both of her parents were like leaders in a church and said it was an extremely positive place. Everybody was nice. Everybody was family. But something that they did in the church as family was eat.
Food was just something we did as a family and as a community. And I love eating for that reason.
Do you know how much I relate to that? I don't know how it is in other communities, but in the Black community, food means family. And so food always meant like joy and happiness. And when we would get together with my family, especially my mom's side, which they're the bigger side, they're the people that are dying from a lot of obesity, like related things, usually heart related or diabetes. And once we would go there, because they never would see us, it would be a huge, huge fun love-filled, food-filled party. And I've told you guys before that my big mama or great grandma would double fry chicken. She would fry it first, it wouldn't be crunchy enough, and then fry it again to give another layer of oil over it. It was good. So when she said food is family, I understood that, and I got like a feeling of that double fried chicken and seeing my grandma just slap it on my plate, a couple pieces. My stomach always hurt very bad after those parties, but we were surrounded by family. A lot of them are dead. But once she hit 12, her family would break apart because her mom would pass away.
I was trying to wake my mom up, but she wouldn't wake up. She was just laying there. And I just kept on pushing her, trying to wake her up, and she wouldn't. That's when they told me she was dead. So I couldn't even cry because I didn't believe it was real.
After her mom sadly passed away and her thought that food equals family and comfort, her eating would extremely increase.
When my mom passed away, I started to turn food into a comfort. Food took my painful thoughts away.
She never really recovered from her mom's passing, as she was very connected with her family, and she didn't understand how to deal with that because she ended up moving out when she was 15. She pretty much just took care of herself, and she had absolutely no one guiding her, especially when it came with food.
I really had no one taking care of me, and I can do whatever I wanted. It was the food that made me feel better. I was going to drop out of school.
I always wonder, what do family members say in these kind of communities when people are skyrocketing with their weight? Like in my family, people would say stuff, but it was more of just like, haha, you're fat, look at you. But everyone would still keep cooking the same food, eating the same food, and having these parties where we would just eat a lot and eat and eat and eat all the time. And I guess her sister, who is significantly smaller than her, did bring up her significant weight gain.
I saw her and I told LaTanya, I said, you're gonna have to get control of your weight. She felt like she had control of it because she said she was walking, she was in the gym exercising. But at some point, I guess, she stopped dieting and kept eating.
She definitely kept eating, but that just reminded me of, people would bring up a lot of the people in my family's way, the ones that were pretty much either bedridden or couch-ridden. You know, they would come to the party and you would see them just scoot into my great-grandma's house and kind of maneuver onto the couch if they could fit. And people would talk about their weight and whatnot, but once again, what did the people around them do to be a positive person in their life to make sure that they are not co-signing this type of behavior? They continued making cakes, they continued giving them food. Like if I had someone who I knew had a food problem, I would invite them to my house where I had more of this food that they are overeating. Just like I wouldn't send people who like drugs to go do drugs. Anyway, so you know the whole theme of once someone who is already pretty heavy gets injured, it's downhill from there, and that's exactly what happened.
I fell and broke my knee, so I went to the hospital, and that's when I got the motorized wheelchair. And once I sat down in one of those, it's like I never got back up here.
It is wild because I've seen this in real life. Like once you see someone that's heavy get injured, it's pretty much over. Like it's hard to be positive because these people already do not have the motivation to move. So then they have this next extra thing to make it harder for them to move when they weren't moving already. And so that's why it usually skyrockets and they don't get out of it.
And my health has gone downhill ever since.
So I know what you're wondering. How is it that she met her man in jail from the comfort of her home while she ate all this food? Well, one of her friends was like, girl, you're single. My cousin in jail is also single. Y'all would make a great match because you ain't got nothing else to do.
I knew that he loved me just the way I am.
Problematic. I don't care what you guys say. Oh, that's so love. Now that's real love. He really just loves the way she is and sees her personality. No, if he loved her, he wouldn't be helping her get the food for her to sit her butt cheeks in front of the stove and cook. There is no way if I saw Garrett rapidly gaining weight would I just be like, yeah, no, I just love you the way you are. No. We're gonna get a therapist. We're gonna go to the gym. We're gonna go on walks. I'll be controlling all the food. And if you don't do it, you can leave because I'm not gonna co-sign this type of behavior. Is that problematic for you? Well, that's perfectly fine. That means you don't actually really like the person you're with. They're just gonna die a little ball of literal fat. Their fat is engulfing their organs and you're saying love is love. That's love. And that's weird. That's what I find offensive. People saying they love these people, but they are helping them throw their bodies into incoming traffic. So there's actually two interesting things about LaTanya's story. One, the nurse who brings her all of this food while she sits there, and then whenever she eats all of it, she says, "You did real good." You did real good in this context means, damn, you ate a lot, and that's really healthy. Anybody else have those family members where if you eat every single thing on your plate, even if you're full, they say, wow, you did a great job? I guess the nurse is just doing her job, but that would be a very hard job for me to do. The second interesting thing about LaTanya is that she actually was supposed to do Dr. Now's program 5 years ago, and she just couldn't.
I couldn't commit to doing the program, but now I'm thinking that I need to go back and see him again.
So 5 years later after that, she feels like she can finally change the way she is, which I did find very interesting because as she was saying that, she had a whole platter of food on her bed. But she thinks that once she talks to Dr. Now, she gets the program, she will magically just change. The other interesting thing about LaTanya is that even though she can't move very well around the house, and usually these people have people to bring them their food to them, she is extremely dedicated to cooking that she gets to go to the store, that she has to go at least once a month to the grocery store to stockpile a bunch of food to last her for about a month. And it is a journey.
I go grocery shopping maybe once a month because it's hard for me to get back and forth to the grocery store.
And just from the bed to her chair, she's out of breath.
Yeah. Would you tell Adrian I'm coming? Please.
But once she gets there, she is so excited. It is pretty much like a mall for her.
I be in the store for hours because I don't know the next time when I'm gonna go. Everybody got a hobby, and food is my hobby.
And that is a t-shirt. I feel like that could be merch. Anyway, like you could suspect, the boyfriend who loves her so much is just filling the cart up with anything she asks for.
Macaroni and cheese. I love chips, I like candy, cakes, cookies, sweet stuff like that. I love cereal. Some days I don't even eat regular food. I just eat snacks all day.
The snacks will get you. You guys need to clip this part of the video and put it right in your pantry next to the chips, and whenever you touch it, that plays. That'll get me. And for anyone who cares, snacks don't keep me full at all. I can eat a big bag of chips and not be full. It doesn't do anything. They're just empty calories. That's not me saying never eat them. I have chips downstairs, but I definitely have to pair them with a meal that has a lot of fiber and a lot of protein. And seeing that she didn't grow up with someone to guide her and has the education about fiber, protein, empty calories, healthy carbs versus chip carbs. She's probably eating this food trying to get full, and she literally never did.
Oh, y'all get some donuts.
The glazed donuts?
Get the strawberry ones too, them different.
So the problem that her family has is the same problem that my family has, is that they're very religious and they always think that God's just gonna take care of everything.
My mama used to say, if you're gonna worry, don't pray. If you're gonna pray, don't worry.
And we talked about this in the last My 600 Pound Life video. Gary, who was always saying, oh, God's gonna handle it, but he just kept gaining weight, because even if you think God's gonna handle it, you still can't just sit there and be gut deep in fried chicken in your bed and macaroni and cheese and think that God's gonna magically make you lose weight. In my world, you can pray as much as you want. If you're not putting your feet forward, literally, and putting that type of food down and eating what you're supposed to be eating, it's not gonna happen. But LaTanya seems to think that she is ready now for Dr. Now and his program. So Dr. Now gave her a goal to lose 40 pounds, and before they get into the office where she has to get weighed, her boyfriend asks, are you nervous? And her answer, it has me worried.
You nervous?
No, I'm not nervous. Is what it's gonna be.
That just kind of sounds like, I was eating that fried chicken in my bed again. So it's gonna be what it's gonna be. These people seem to think that Dr. Now is kind of an idiot, and when you're that size, you're supposed to be dropping a lot of weight if you're sticking to his program, because our bodies aren't meant to be this big. So when you stop eating more than 30,000 calories a day and you set it to a normal range where you can still breathe and live and eat and be full if you're eating the right foods, you'd be losing the amount of weight that he said, like 40 pounds. But maybe I'm wrong.
636.
And unfortunately, she gained 4 pounds. And the nurse doesn't even really say anything except she looks at her and says,
we're going to room 5.
I know, it's dark, but she looks like she's looking at death because she's seen this so many times. So LaTanya up until this point was saying that she's not nervous and it is what it is, but then after, she was very nervous to see Dr. Now.
Oh Lord, I ain't ready to face him right now. I don't see how that weight's possible.
And you know, whenever I see these people gain the weight and they always say after, I don't understand, but they're also doing the same exact thing, maybe a slightly different. Maybe they stopped getting the extra large mac and cheese and got a large, but they aren't doing the significant change that they need to see a significant change. In fact, she's obviously not doing anything different because she didn't lose just a tiny bit. She gained 4 pounds. So to be able to gain 4 pounds when you're already over 500 pounds, that means you are eating at an extreme rate. So Dr. Now's very irritated that she's acting like she doesn't understand what's going on, and she had the audacity to roll into his office with her sad story.
It took me longer this time, 8 hours, but I'm kind of scared that the pain that I'm feeling, it may be a blood clot.
Like, she was talking about how this is all new for her, it's hard for her to do new things, and in my head I'm like, yeah, that's true. Because like she's been eating unhealthy all her life, so it's kind of hard when Dr. Now says, okay, you're eating 40,000 calories, now you're only gonna eat 1,200 calories. That's a significant drop. So I was kind of like, oh yeah, I understand that.
This is something new for me. I've been eating unhealthy for so long, and like now, trying to change it is it's a lot. But I know it's worth it.
Yeah, Dr. Now wasn't having it. Actually, when I was hearing her talk, I felt really sad for her. I was like, oh, I get it. And I saw Dr. Now's face and said, wait a minute, you're having all of these things because you're eating even more and your health is declining because of your weight and you're not doing anything about it. So Dr. Now pretty much says, yeah, no shit, you're hurting. Look at you.
You gained weight. And instead of waking up to things, you're deflecting the situation by saying, you have pain. Yeah, you should have pain because you are 636 pounds. And you're still in this motorized wheelchair. You don't want to give that up. You don't want to give up your eating habit. Come on.
And Dr. Now calling her out kind of pisses her off a lot. Most likely because she's probably angry at herself, but she needs someone else to get mad at. Not her boyfriend for co-signing her and helping getting her the food. Not herself. Dr. Now, the guy that's in her life for about 3 minutes.
You think I want to come here, drive out in a long time, come here just to get chewed out? I could have stayed at home for that.
When I heard her say this, I was like, I'm trying to stay respectful because I know the ending, but also if you knew that you were eating more than what you normally eat, why would you drive the 8 hours to go there and waste your own time and everybody else's and a lot of gas money? Dr. Now actually visits her and they give her appropriate amount of food, and she's complaining that she just can't eat this type of food because she's so used to the junk food that she normally eats, and she's explaining that she's gonna starve because she doesn't like it and she has to eat something.
I don't eat that. This is like dog food.
You don't like meat?
I don't eat stuff like this.
That's good nutrition, that's good protein.
Like I don't eat beans at all. I don't eat that kind of meat. I haven't really eaten it since I've been here.
You're not gonna fade away. You're gonna be fine.
I still have to eat something.
No, eating the food that belongs to the next 4 years ahead of time. So if you don't eat, you're gonna be all right.
You know, the delusion for me, this is why I can't watch the show very much, but the delusion for me, it just kind of like gets under my skin a little bit. And then we have this whole movement telling people to
stay fat, princess.
What the hell? And then I'm the villain when I say I like to count calories because I didn't grow up with absolutely any guidance. I never read nutrition labels. And so I have to continue to remind myself that there is such thing as too much food. There is such thing as portion control. We are TikTok people on that side of fat acceptance. What is your problem? What's going on in here? Say that to people like this. Anyway, she gets really upset that Dr. Now said you made absolutely no progress.
And you saying all that just to say, well, you know your fat ass need to lose weight. You in a wheelchair. You 37 years old.
Okay, well, he didn't say all that. He just said you didn't lose weight and you're still in the wheelchair that he said that you don't need to be using because he wants you to walk. Where'd all that come from? That's coming from yourself. You called yourself a fat ass. No one else did. Dr. Now didn't. Your boyfriend didn't. No one did except for you. Well, after that session, LaTanya would never see Dr. Now again, but Dr. Now did have some final words for her.
LaTanya doesn't turn her situation around soon. It is just a matter of time before things get even worse for her. And she ends up in a situation that she may not survive.
And you know, I know many people say that Dr. Now is rude, but it was absolutely true in this situation. LaTanya did not survive. Things got extremely worse for LaTanya. Recently, she would start a GoFundMe page that revealed she had been bedridden since June 2024 and was nearing her highest weight of 740 pounds.
Hi, I'm LaTanya. and I'm reaching out for help during a really tough time.
So she gained, since that episode, 100 extra pounds, and she was already struggling to move from bed to 4 little steps over to her little motorized scooter. So you can only imagine how horrible she was feeling at that point with 100 extra pounds. I wonder if she watched the Stay Fat Princess Girl. That probably gave her some great motivation. Eventually, LaTanya would be brought to Christus Highland Medical Center in Shreveport, Louisiana on May 17th, 2025, and would pass away from congestive heart failure, losing her fight to food addiction. Like I said, I know we try to make things a lot lighter. We talk about like the weirdos of fat acceptance, the people like the Stay Fat Princess Girl who said it's a political statement to stay obese. Once again, go to this comment section of someone who's 600 pounds and say that right there. So let me know if you feel so good about yourself by influencing this person to stay fat princess. That girl will live rent-free in my head forever with that comment. I cannot. I literally want to take all those people who promote fat acceptance and sit their bodies in front of a TV to episodes like this and show them someone like LaTanya and say, should she look at a food label? Should she use a food scale? Is portioning out her food and counting calories toxic to her? Is she gonna die from that? Or is she gonna die from her very extreme obesity problem?
This is something new for me. I've been eating unhealthy.
Here's my follow-up question. What does healthy mean?
Oh, and by the way, this person's dead already. It's perfectly fine. I do, of course, have to say rest in peace, LaTanya, and condolences to her family. I know it has to be extremely hard to lose a loving family member, and LaTanya seemed to really love her family. But this is also a reminder that obesity has consequences. There is health issues that come with it, no matter what a popular person on TikTok wants to try to believe. Overeating is not cute. Being obese is not powerful or a political statement. I find it extremely offensive that there's a bunch of people on TikTok that sweep this type of behavior and my ED under the rug and can watch people who are struggling and then influence them to continue this unhealthy behavior. Anyway, I hate ending videos like this with fat person eating so much they died. It makes me feel sick and icky, so I think I could follow up this video and end it with a very easy, stereotypical, I think, American meal that still involves chips, but also keeps me full. So let's end this video on a very happy and positive, and of course, an educational note. Okay, so we just got back from the store and we went to go get the dog's pup cups. They were stoked.
Jump, Butters. You ready?
You guys, I used to go to Sprouts a lot, but now we go to Trader Joe's and we got so much more food than we can get at Sprouts for a way better deal. So much meat and everything. All this meat and stuff for around $90. And remember, protein keeps you full. I feel like I have to slap it a lot so that you guys get it through your head. So like I said, fiber, so we're going to roast some broccoli and cauliflower, and I got the ones that have different colors. I don't know why, it excites me a little more, puts more color on my plate, and it just looks more interesting. So these are the chips from Trader Joe's. I usually get spicy ones, but Garrett said the other chips were too spicy. There he goes. Not you turning back around. Okay, so Garrett's having chips. I'm having like a bigger dinner later, so I'm going to not have chips, and I'll still show you his plate after, but I'm just gonna make myself some baked fries. Either way, they're both potatoes, and I just love potatoes. And beyond popular belief, making your fries at home, just because it's potatoes doesn't mean it's gonna be so high in calories, and if I make them at home, it's gonna be a lot less than the chips and fries at a restaurant. And now I'm going to drink water, 1, because I haven't drinking water in a while, and 2, because I'm going to do something that I told you not to do in this video. Not a drive-through down into Tia and Tamara.
What are you doing?
We're getting hydrated.
Okay.
Because I told you not to snack on certain snacks when you're hungry, and I'm starving. But now that I drink water, I think it's okay because we got free cheddar and Parmesan cheese snacks because Trader Joe's thinks that we are so special. It's actually because they couldn't sell them anymore, so they were just giving them out to anyone that walked into the door. So I figured we can try it on camera. That's what it looks like. It's 160 calories for 30 grams. And this is what 30 grams looks like. So now remember when LaTanya said some days she only eats snacks. This tiny little bit, probably as big as my fist, is 160 calories. This whole box is 390 calories. You could have about 3 chicken breasts or even chicken thighs with skin for this whole box, and this isn't gonna do anything, but let's try it. It doesn't taste like butt cheek, but it's not, I can understand why they didn't sell that. About texture, something else that I cannot do are big things like this. I have to cut them up. And now that's in the oven. While we wait, we can get all of the stuff that we're gonna put in our sandwich ready and chopped. And I like it all. I like bacon. I like tomato. I like onion. I even like sliced up apple on my sandwich. And for some reason, whenever I'm cutting anything in my kitchen, I have the strange feeling that a little monster is watching my every move.
It is the Monster Mash.
The Monster Mash. Little monster. And of course, cheese. And we found this sliced Gouda that's 66 calories per slice. And it's usually about like 110 to 140 for like a slice of cheddar cheese. So if you are a big type person, you could get like 2 slices of this. Or 66 calories, that's what, 50 calories less than the average slice of cheese. You could have a whole apple or more chips, your choice. This is why we count calories, because then we can substitute certain things and get extra things of other things.
It's only 66 calories?
Yeah, I know.
What?
I like it.
I had no idea.
You didn't know that it was calories?
No,
Yeah, that's why
it tastes like it's not.
That's why we read the food labels. Bread, I know you guys like some carbs. I know I do. Anyway, usually we get one that's 60 calories, but this one's 70, not too bad, just 10 calories more. Usually bread is 110 calories per slice. So I really like this one because that's 140 calories for 2 and I can have a whole sandwich. None of that open face bullshit. And for extra flavor, I like to put the minced garlic, like spread it across. I think it tastes delicious. Is that too much for you, Garrett?
Sometimes.
Alrighty then.
And then for meats, we got Applewood smoked uncured ham. And it's 70 calories for 2 slices and 10 grams of protein. Not tons of protein in this meal, but more than a bag of chips. Rigby, what are you doing? It only works on butters. That's not even yours. You can't fit. Fine, here. Nope, butter, stop, leave it. And I am like Patrick, I need mayonnaise.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
So normally my favorite thing to season fries with is just onion powder and salt, but we don't have that. So today we are going to slap yo mama, the seasoning that influenced you to slap yo mama. And here's what Garrett's plate looks like with the 1 serving of chips. That looks small, right? Like I could eat that and the whole bag. And then here's my meal with the baked french fries, all the broccoli that I like, and the cauliflower, plus the sandwich and a side of apples with the calories on the screen for both of them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. I hope it motivated you to kind of look at a back of a food label and modify things that you need so that you can still eat the stuff that you do like. And you don't have to be addicted to food and then die. So hope this helped you guys out, and I will see you guys next video. See ya!
Hey, you there watching, count those calories. Don't be afraid of the toxicity. If you are weak and have a food problem, break out that scale and start to solve them. Hey, you there, you ain't alone. People on TikTok will well and grown, but please don't listen to them scream. If you have a problem, count those calories.